After an initial release on PC in 2018, developer Caustic Reality's survival horror Infliction Extended Cut is now available on home console courtesy of BlowFish Studios. Infliction is a dark and disturbing journey, best described as an interactive nightmare set in the mid-80s. You must explore a broken home, riddled with horrific past, while a malevolent force stalks your every move. Its agenda and reason for haunting you is unknown. The journey becomes more disturbing as the truth of what happened within this seemingly ideal suburban home become more apparent, and it's within this element of the story where Infliction really becomes quite powerful. Many indie survival titles have made good use of the less is more formula of exploring a dark location, reading a few notes to piece together a story while clenching buttocks with the odd jump scare. But as someone who plays a lot of horror games, these experiences can all start to feel samey and fall flat on their faces with weak narratives. Fortunately, Infliction respectfully focuses on a very real scenario centered around depression, substance abuse, and domestic violence. More specifically, it focuses on the consequences of these issues and how they can affect a family in different ways. Infliction is played in the first-person view, and for the most part you will only have a flashlight to help you. Later on, you will get your hands on a classic Polaroid camera, which will become invaluable for solving puzzles and warding off the evil spirit that stalks you. Though there is no direct combat, you can opt for the timeless classic of hiding under beds and furniture to avoid the numerous foes that are out to get you. Infliction makes good use of its environment. Where similar titles have had plenty of objects to interact with, but usually have no purpose, everything in Infliction feels like it's helping to build the bigger picture of this family and their story. From the pictures and ornaments to the more specific items, like diary entries and answer machine messages, this contained environment feels real and foreboding. Though there are text items to find, you will know if you have found something that is key to progression, like a diary entry for example, as it will read out in some pretty impressive voice acting that helps to emphasize the emotions of that particular character. At times, you will need to use the camera to solve puzzles. By taking pictures of certain objects and areas, the Polaroid will reveal what may have been there before, like a blood trail leading you in the right direction, or the answer to a combination puzzle. This formula is balanced by only having so much film available, so taking the time to explore, instead of just flashing the camera at everything in sight, ensures the tension remains. Playing the game on the regular setting will give you some hints and help you along your way, but the full experience will be had on the harder setting, which will pretty much just leave you to it. I like the option, as it makes the title more accessible for players who may enjoy the tension of horror but aren't so hot at solving puzzles, while offering a more hardcore experience for the more seasoned players of the genre. Infliction is for a mature audience, and that tone never wavers. The locations vary from a family home, mental institutes, and cabins in the wood. This helps break up the exploration, but remains cleverly connected to the narrative, and I found that as the game rolled on I became familiar enough with the layouts to have an idea of where to head for certain objectives, instead of just bumbling around aimlessly in a nondescript location. There are also plenty of what you might call Easter eggs, lying around which will help make the exploration more worthwhile. The classic game systems playing a favourite game, the movie posters adorning the wall. This game oozes vibes of Stanley Kubrick, Sam Raimi, while also channeling flavours of Fatal Frame, or Project Zero if you prefer, Silent Hill PTs, Outlast, and even Resident Evil 7. All fantastic ingredients to add to the mix and manage to give the sense of nostalgia as well as dread to the experience. Though the story is powerful and the level design well crafted, the true star of the show is the sound design. Eerie sound effects will creep through each location, from creaky floorboards, strange voices, and disturbing sounds in general. Slap some headphones on while playing in a dark room, and your bumhole will be blowing kisses like a politician on election week. This game performed really well on Nintendo Switch. Visually, it is one of the best looking indie horrors I have played on the system, certainly up there with the likes of Outlast. The controls are simple but effective, allowing you to focus on what's happening on screen instead of remembering complicated layouts. As with all good horrors, there is a level of clunkiness by design, and it works really well. Infliction would take you around 3 to 4 hours to get through, and you wouldn't want it to be any longer, not because it's a bad game, but simplistic gameplay and the nature of the story. I feel it would lose some intrigue and atmosphere if we've stretched out too long. Better to have an experience that delivers the goods in a well-rounded package than one that tries to do too many things and falls flat. Whether you find the experience scary or not will depend on your own constitution for horror titles, but I found the experience to be very atmospheric and had me on edge and engaged throughout. Infliction Extended Cut is available from the 2nd of July on Nintendo Switch and is a worthy addition to any horror fan's library. Though like many in the genre that use a similar formula, there may not be much replay value, making the £17 or $20 asking price something to consider. But, with an engrossing story that finds a sweet spot between being respectful to the issues it portrays while being on the nose enough to deliver a solid experience to a wider audience, TBG are awarding Infliction 8.5 out of 10. Thank you for joining us for the latest Freshly Baked review. My name's Breadroll, and I'll catch you next time.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.